This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the government announces changes to indoor crowd restrictions and vaccine passes. The annual Regent Theatre fundraising book sale is back this year with a big difference. And the imminent return of international tourists is making things busy for campervan providers. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. New Zealand's set to stay in the red light setting for now, but the government is relaxing a number of other requirements as Omicron cases peak across the country. Face masks will still be needed, but larger crowds will be allowed for indoor gatherings from the end of this week, with vaccine passes no longer required from early April.
Changes to the traffic light system and COVID restrictions are on the way. The government has announced the COVID traffic light framework will stay at the red setting for now, but crowd limits are being loosened and vaccine passes are on the way out for most locations.
From 11:59 p.m. Monday, 4 April, vaccine passes will no longer be required to be used as part of the COVID-19 protection framework. There will be some businesses, events or venues who may still wish to use them for their own reasons, and they can if they wish to do so. We will maintain the systems in place and update the passes over time to include boosters.
The Prime Minister says the decision is in line with Auckland and other places reaching peak COVID. Businesses, including hospitality, have welcomed the relaxing of the rules, which will allow more people to enjoy indoor gatherings.
It is the view of our public health officials that we can safely increase these gathering limits indoors to 200 without having a significant impact on our health system and hospitalisations, especially given we'll maintain our seated and separated rules for hospitality.
Jacinda Ardern believes that economically New Zealand was holding up, but admits it's also been bloody hard.
But while we've been successful, it has also been bloody hard.
Most restrictions other than mask wearing requirements are set to be removed at Orange, which will be reassessed early next month. Dunedin's Octagon is one of the last places in the country still hosting anti-mandate protesters, but a spokeswoman refused to comment to The South Today on what they think of the government's changes. Mandates will be dropped next month for most sectors, except for health and disability, aged care, corrections and border workforces. She told media today 1.5 million people have died due to COVID-19 worldwide in the 2 years of the pandemic, and says New Zealand's death rate per capita is among the lowest in the world. There were more than 1,600 new cases in the southern DHB region reported today. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Tributes are flowing for a Dunedin dog whose owner says was more than just a dog. The Labrador Hunterway cross named Meg had a social following and was once a poster girl for the Department of Conservation. She helped her owner, Andy Cunningham, return to walking after a serious back injury in 2012. Meg went missing for a period following a car accident in 2018, but was nursed back to health by Andy and Alison after she was found again. She also visited many local schools to help children learn about overcoming adversity. Sadly, Meg had to be put down after a 2-week decline due to liver failure. Meg's been buried in the Cunningham's garden near a manuka grove. The annual Regent Theatre book sale has been a popular fixture on Dunedin's calendar for about 40 years, raising funds for the central city venue. Funds raised from the sale of books and other items usually go to specific projects around the theatre, but this year the need is for a more grassroots reason.
A bookworm's paradise. Historically, the annual Regent Theatre book sale opens its doors for a 24-hour period, running from noon to noon, with book lovers jogging down the aisle hunting for the rare finds. However, COVID-19 traffic light restrictions mean things are being done differently this year.
So what we've done is, instead of doing one 24-hour sale where everybody's in with their elbows and we're all jammed together, which would be very bad, we're doing it in a much more sedate manner over a longer period of time. So in actual fact, it will be many more hours than 24 hours. It's just spread out across 10 days.
From ABBA to transport and many more stops in between, Coordinator Alison Cunningham says, as it's always been, that item you're looking for might come out of a box half an hour before the sale ends. So there's no need to push but persistence pays.
The first books are not necessarily the best books. They come out of the next box, and the treasure you're looking for could come out of the box 10 minutes before the end of the last session. So, don't feel that if you can't get to the early sessions you've missed out. It just means more books are coming out the whole time.
The Regent Theatre Red Setting book sale begins on April the 1st, running for 10 days. Each time slot is 90 minutes long, with 4 to 5 sessions per day, and organisers say bookings are essential. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The rundown homestead of Enslow Station near Alexandra has been sold to new owners. Bailey's Cromwell says there was a huge amount of interest in the historic house. The real estate agents received about 160 expressions of interest in the 100-year-old home. The property boasts 8 bedrooms along with 2 kitchens and a swimming pool. The new owners don't want their identities made public at this stage, but say they plan to restore the historic building. Confirmation last week that New Zealand would be welcoming back Australian visitors has been welcomed by the tourism sector. Bookings are coming in fast for accommodation and attractions following the announcement the border will reopen to Aussies from the 13th of April. And businesses like campervan rental companies are ready for their return.
Working hard to make it happen. The country's tourism sector is putting in the long hours to make sure that everything is ready for the influx of tourists expected through our borders from April 12. The decision by the government last week to let tourists return to New Zealand has immediately impacted on one international campervan rental agency.
Yeah, we've seen an immediate response to the announcement made last week, and we've seen, I think our travel partners in Europe especially have been waiting for that announcement of the date, and we've seen straight away bookings come in to the point where we had 3 times the number of bookings come in for travel this spring and summer as we did the prior 2 weeks before that, so we're very happy.
He says business has been very tough for the past 2 years. The company parked up and hibernated some of their fleet of vehicles, sold off some to reduce overheads and provide revenue to allow them to modernise their fleet. Now they are rushing to make sure everything is ready to go.
The challenge for us will be staffing and getting staff back on. It's been very hard to maintain a trained, stable workforce over the last couple of years, and so we'll be working on that the next few months to build that up again in time for spring.
Delator says while it takes time for his staff to make sure every one of their campervans are clean and serviced, they still feel very positive for the coming season. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Whai Yakane still to come on the South Today. Blood, sweat and tears go into a Dunedin home, and a shipping container is packed to the brim in central Otago to help out former Tongan residents.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities,
Including Little Bobs.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
Hi there, guess who? Do you recognise the eyes? Oh, okay, it's a haircut. Anyway, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores are carrying on as usual. Despite what's happening in the world, we have got some great stock for you. Personally, I've spent 50 years in this business and we have some excellent supplier relationships. We've got great stock, it's hand-picked, it's here, it's on time, and it's ready for this great summer.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So, as my favourite cup says, keep calm and carry on.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Invercargill City Council is set to debate whether speed limits should be cut to 40 kilometres per hour in urban areas. One public submission shows a visual demonstration of the injuries that can occur in crashes at 50 kilometres per hour as opposed to just 40.
A stark demonstration of the benefit of lower speeds. Invercargill resident Paul Hurley drops 2 eggs from slightly different heights as part of his submission to the Invercargill City Council this week. His aim was to demonstrate the difference in impact and damage between speed limits of 50 and 40 kilometres per hour on the road.
This is 50k, 40k.
I take it the one on your right is intact?
Not completely intact.
No.
But this one is a real mess.
Right.
Hurley was one of nearly 200 submitters on the council's speed limit review, with a reduction to 40 kilometres per hour in urban areas being considered. A recent council survey suggests about half the residents would be in favour of a 10-kilometre cut in urban and rural areas. Some submitters believe speed cameras will help with road safety, but Hurley says education is also important.
The problem is there's going to be a huge pushback from people that love their cars, and I think we should be ready for that and start perhaps suggesting to the government that we start a campaign of being calm and cheerful is better than being the big hero with the big powerful car.
Councillors will debate the proposed speed reductions next month, and changes could be swift, with a bylaw potentially introduced by the end of May. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Distilling award-winning gin in front of a Dunedin bar and cafe has provided a window of opportunity for one local man. Now, Julian Delavoye is taking the leap to move his No. 8 distillery to a much larger premises.
From humble beginnings at the front of Dunedin's Dog with Two Tails Cafe and Bar, to having one of their products named Best New Zealand Gin at the World Gin Awards. The fledgling No. 8 distillery is now opening its new standalone premises in Hanover Street. Owner Julian Delavoye says the timing was right for the business expansion.
So first increase the production, and after offering a full package to the customer, so coming at the distillery for a tour and tasting, but I can have also a gin and tonic or cocktail with the bar on the mezzanine upstairs.
At this year's World Gin Awards, No. 8 won Best in Country in the Contemporary Style Gin category for its No. 8 Horopito Gin, and also picked up a bronze for its Dunners Gin. The distillery's legacy dates back over 4 generations. Delavoye draws on his French family recipes and extensive hospitality experience, working alongside a teetotal New Zealander with a passion for flavour.
All of my spirit have a native or a plant or herbs or flower is foraged here. Try also to offering, we have in mind, coming soon, to chocolate and beer pairing with spirits. Can be a different type of workshop.
The move means No. 8 can quadruple production. The business can respond to high volume orders, and Delavoye has a bigger space to work in. A Pledge Me crowdfunding campaign is planned to raise capital for 6 distillation stations and a 5-litre copper pot still. The business also wants to let customers create their own spirits with supervision. Delavoye says the brand is starting to find outlets around the country, with the next goal to try and take their gins to the world stage. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A 20-foot shipping container is being packed in Alexandra, filled with supplies for Tonga. The supplies are destined for 2 villages there, which have close connections to the Central Otago community.
Loading up a giant shipping container with much-needed supplies for villagers in Tonga. Lucy Fukafuka of Alexandra says a collection of food, linen, kitchen utensils, pots and pans and towels will go to help those in need following the devastating volcanic eruption and tsunami in Tonga 2 months ago.
Their homes had been washed away by the waves, so we have been collecting quite a lot, and it's amazing. Really amazing, the turnout and things that the community had contributed and donate to our family.
The 20-foot container of relief supplies has been earmarked for the villages of seasonal workers who lived in Central Otago before COVID-19 closed the borders.
We know that some of the boys that came through seasonal workers, and yeah, we love to help these families.
Donations have come from schools around Central Otago, along with Lions clubs, churches and individuals. Fukafuka's been overwhelmed by the generosity of locals and says the gifts are an answer to much prayer and fasting.
There is so much love, and there is so much hope and so much faith in each other that we can do this.
The donated items will be shipped from Auckland later this month, with the relief supplies to be distributed via a village committee to help residents rebuild their lives. In Alexandra, the South Today.
Whai after the break on the South Today, 2 of Wanaka's top mountain biking teenagers prepare to compete on the international circuit, and we check what's in store for the weekend.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency, and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Living Well Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. Two teenagers from Wanaka are preparing to travel to Europe for the Downhill Mountain Bike World Cup Tour and Crankworx series. The pair are among New Zealand's top youth riders and keen to prove themselves on the international circuit.
Preparing to race against the best overseas talent. Wanaka teenagers Kalani Muirhead and Nico Arnold are getting ready to compete in top-level downhill mountain bike events in Europe this year. The pair will join 7 other self-funded riders from New Zealand, battling against some of the world's top sponsored mountain bikers.
And I'm mainly going to be competing downhill, so that'll be doing World Cups. I'm also going to be going over to do one EWS, which is an enduro, and I think hopefully I'm going to go over and do one Crankworx as well.
Both riders are highly ranked in New Zealand, and Muirhead says they've been saving up for this chance to travel to Scotland, Austria and Italy to show the rest of the world what they're capable of.
I think we're pretty excited. We've been planning it for quite a while and watching it on TV, so it'll be nice to be over there, I guess.
The borders are now reopening for travel, and Arnold is confident COVID-19 will be less of an issue when they race against riders from across the globe.
I think it definitely has an effect on us and our travels, but I think we've been living with COVID for long enough to say that we're pretty used to it and can kind of just get through it without too much trouble.
The duo are set to leave in May for the 4-month downhill tour, returning home at the end of the Northern Hemisphere summer with a lot more experience under their wheels. In Wanaka, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The government has announced changes to red light settings with larger indoor crowds and the end of vaccine passes in most places. The popular annual Regent Theatre fundraising book sale is back this year with some big changes for those wanting to hunt for a few bargains. And the imminent return of international tourists is making things busy for campervan providers after an extremely quiet 2 years for the industry. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the editor, Barry Stewart.
Hello, Hannah. The doors to Forsyth Bar Stadium are going to be open on Saturday, so we can watch some rugby. I was going to start off with all the new COVID policy changes, but you've covered that, I understand. So
thank you. Yes, we have.
we will talk about the next most important thing is the rugby happening. So that's exciting.
So Forsyth Bar Stadium is considered an outdoor venue, which means
Correct.
we can do that. Great.
Yeah, some confusion over that today, but my understanding is that it is an outdoor stadium.
Great news.
With a roof on.
Yeah.
So that's exciting as life can start to return to some form of normality. So let's see how that goes. So obviously the words of caution about being safe and still maintaining some levels of restraint is always positive. So we have some discussion about that. We also have an editorial tomorrow on the changing policies regarding COVID. So look out for that. It's always a good read, the editorial.
Nice and clear as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Regional Council had a meeting today, and staff and councillors were at loggerheads again. So more issues in that arena. So we have some feedback on that. Food banks, Dunedin food banks are doing it tough for COVID, cold, and just the cost of living. So so things are building up there. And in our sports section, we have a look at the White Ferns and how they've fared in the World Cup, and clearly not as we had wished for. So we have a look at what went wrong in that situation. Yeah.
All right, we look forward to all of that then in tomorrow's ODT. Barry, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And now for a look at what's happening in the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, a cold front brings a change to cool southwesterly airflow over the region tomorrow morning, easing during the afternoon. Another weak front will brush past the far south on Friday, and a ridge of high pressure should bring mostly fine weather over the weekend. Firstly, to the southern towns, Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can all expect decreasing southwesterlies with showers clearing and a high of 14 degrees. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes area now, and Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra are all in for moderate southwesterlies with showers clearing and a high of 15. Te Anau can expect the southwesterlies to decrease with showers clearing and a high of 14 degrees. Looking at the northern towns along the coast, Timaru and Awamaru can expect a southwesterly change, bringing brief showers and highs of 22 and 20. Twizel and Omarama are in for southwesterly change with showers and a high of 17 degrees. In Dunedin, there'll be some cloud tonight with northeast winds and an overnight low of 16 degrees. There'll be mild northerlies and high cloud at first tomorrow, but a cool southwesterly change starts in the morning with winds strong for a time and then decreasing. It'll also bring light showers but be mostly dry from the early afternoon, a high of 18 and a low of 7. Becoming fine and sunny on Friday with late and moderate nor'easterlies, a high of 16 and a low of 8 degrees. And in Invercargill, showers start developing tonight with colder southwesterlies freshening and an overnight low of 12. Showers clearing tomorrow morning with sunny periods for the afternoon and cold southwesterly winds easing up to 14 and down to 5. Cloudy with brief showers on Friday and the cold southwesterlies freshen again, a high of 15 and a low of 7 degrees. And that's the news this Wednesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, and you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te po, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.